Hi, everyone. This is Tim Ney, Chief Executive Officer of Catholic Charities, San Bernardino, Riverside Counties. Very, very excited to be here with all of you and also with Don Averill, our board member for quite some time. But before we dive into that, we're going to learn a little bit more about Don. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. How are you,
So
Tim?
I'm doing great, and I was just saying earlier before we're on camera, we could do 3, 4, 5 of these with your background and experience. So we're excited to get started. But before we do, everyone, we're going to learn a little bit more about Don. So Don, tell us where you grew up.
Well, I'm a native Californian, and I was raised in the San Fernando Valley. At the time I was born, it was which was a long time ago. The San Fernando Valley was primarily ranches, and I was raised on a working ranch.
Wow, that's incredible.
So we had both the cattle ranch, and my mother operated a school.
Interesting,
So
and so we're talking lower population back then and probably less busy freeways and all.
there was no freeway, but the 5 freeway is now on the ranch.
Oh, wow. And
Mm.
so when you're young and going to school, you're obviously getting up early. Are you working on the farm as well?
Oh, yeah. My wife claims I had no childhood.
Oh, okay, well, and is it true?
It's not totally, but no, we had to feed the animals. The school my mother ran was very unusual in that the students that came to us were coming from, the courts,
See.
and they were students that were in trouble and needed some guidance. So we raised them in a working environment. Everybody had a job. Um, but I had to be up very early in the morning because I fed the horses and I was primarily
I'm
responsible.
gonna guess maybe 3 AM.
No, not
Or
that early,
not that
but
early.
certainly by 4. And I guess I've continued that most of my life. I'm an
Well,
early
yeah,
riser.
we'll get to that. So fast forward, you're going to school and then, um, did you move out of the area to go to college or what happened next?
Well, we ended up actually selling the ranch uh, in 1950.
Okay.
Went to Arizona for a couple of years. And then I came back and, we came back to Van Nuys, and I went to school in
I
High
see.
school.
And so, you went to high school in Van Nuys, and were you playing sports or?
Not, anything other than track.
Okay, gotcha.
I did track. I was, interestingly enough, in the ROTC,
Oh, okay.
Army ROTC in high school. Um, but we but it at the same time, I was also working. It was, I talked a restaurant into hiring me at 14 as a dishwasher,
Oh, wow, okay.
and, when I graduated from high school, I was the assistant manager.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine. And I actually love how your childhood ties into what we're gonna talk about next. So you're in high school, then you go off to college, I'm assuming?
Mhm. Yeah, I started, at Valley College in the LA district. I say that because I have a Valley College in my old district, San Bernardino Valley. But I went to Valley College for a year, then to City College, and then finally, got my bachelor's degree in business and health at Cal State Los Angeles.
And just so we added in here a personal touch, when did you meet your wife?
At Cal State Los
Oh,
Angeles.
well, see, well, there you go.
Mhm.
And so, you've met your wife and moving through and basically, you start this form this career. What was your first sort of career role?
Actually, I started in the building trades, but it was way back when I was very young. Family had construction, and manufacturing, facilities, and I started working there. So I had been working and worked most of the time while I was in college. I paid everything, and although I have to tell you, when I went to Cal State Los Angeles, the tuition for a year was or a semester was $43.
Okay, well, I think, that's pretty much lower. Well, it's fast forward times, right? So,
So,
much more expensive today, no doubt.
much more. I went to USC at one time for $63 a unit.
Wow,
You
amazing.
don't do that anymore.
Yeah, not even. So, so here you are in the building industry, and, were you married at the time?
No.
Okay, so we're gonna get you.
I traveled a lot. I was, in sales. I got interested in the high s in, work experience in the high schools, primarily because of the young people we were hiring in the manufacturing company, uh, and the lack of direction they had. And so uh, when I went to Cal State, it was with the, intent of teaching, and, I taught in business education and in that area, and primarily in sales, taught
Beautiful.
sales and marketing.
And do you think, your mom starting that school when you were really young has any sort of impact on how you got into education? You really embraced it.
Yeah, to a degree, but she introduced me to a woman who was interested in this work experience thing, and a friend she had. I met that friend later on, and then eventually went to work for him. And with he and I and several other people actually created work experience education in California's uh, K-12 system.
Fantastic.
And as it was, it's been changed now. Now they call it career education. Uh, it's amazing when you look back how many times you'll find something that we were doing very well got wiped out and then recreated.
Mhm.
It came back and is now being done again.
Oh, yeah, for
So,
sure.
but I did that, and in the process of doing that, I got very involved in the legislation, in the legislature, because the work experience laws for students at that time were very bad, and I ended up getting the laws changed so that the work permit process was easier for the students to get and for the businesses to manage, and also that the safety for the students was retained.
Oh, that's
Because
huge. Yeah.
in many areas of work experience, the, uh, safety issue is very hard, and the students were obviously misused, so having the structure of an education program behind them working in these, various trades was very important.
Oh, absolutely. So now we have, it used to be there was a time when we said it was a junior college, and now we use the term
Mhm.
community college. And
Yeah.
we were just recently, you and I were at it was a Valley College,
Valley College,
and
yep.
what an amazing experience just
Mhm.
being in the room with their president and hearing him talk.
Mhm.
And what a fantastic,
Yeah, and he was brand new on the
brand
that
new.
was his
He's
first week
he's
that I
yeah, he's fantastic, and they really do care about the students there.
oh, yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
super impressed. And so part of what we're doing, and we're talking about our strategic plan, is launching a career advisory program here. And part of that is going to be including institutions like Valley College because they're so fantastic to really elevate
Yeah.
folks.
What actually happened is that in the development of education is that the community college it was created out of what were called junior colleges, but it was students who had not prepared themselves for college entry.
Mm,
Probably 70 to 80% of the students that go through today, but they weren't preparing themselves. So they started junior colleges, and the junior colleges helped them to catch up.
makes sense.
Now, they finally separated, so those were tied to K-12 organizations.
Okay.
And so in California, eventually there were about 50% of the community colleges that exist today started out as junior colleges, and some of them still have the name in there.
I mean, if I can, I'll give a shout out to Grossmont Community College. I
That's
think
yeah,
it's one of a fantastic location that myself and my
yeah,
kids went
yeah.
to.
Yeah, very, very good. I worked for them for about a half a year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, look for they're lucky. So
yeah.
so you're really engaged at the community college level, and just so what can we just get close to how you got engaged with the church? Because you're also really close with the Diocese of San Bernardino. You worked there for
Yeah,
many years,
you're right.
and also your connection with Catholic Charities. What's your passion around, being close to the Catholic Church and working and utilizing your all your skills?
Well, it was a very interesting process as to how I became involved with the Diocese of San Bernardino. When I came to San Bernardino Community College in 2000, I found several things that were not cricket in my mind.
Mhm.
One of them was the fact that we were only getting about 10% of the graduating students from the high schools coming to our community colleges. And then I found out from the the county superintendent
Mhm.
that we were probably the second worst college going rate in the state, and the only other one that was worse with us was a Central Valley school in the San Joaquin Valley area.
Mhm.
So, and then because I found our people weren't talking to the community colleges, they were just creating their own little environment. I joined the county superintendent council
Mhm.
so I could get to the high schools and begin to open doors.
See, I love that because just like your mother, you're really passionate about opening those doors, it seems,
Mhm.
for youth as well.
Yeah, and so we what ended up is that the county superintendent and myself and the president of Cal State San Bernardino
Mhm.
uh, created an alliance for education and between ourselves and industry in the community and the churches. And our intent was to try to improve this college going rate. And the end result was that after we had operated for 4 years, we had actually increased the rate by 40%.
Wow, and so going back to what you said earlier, I mean, I'm wondering now, as I look at the community, do we need to go back and do that again? Do we need to go back and encourage more young people
Well,
to get in
Ted
school?
Ted is working in that area, and he still does a lot of that.
Okay.
We created a I worked heavily in economic development. In fact, my doctoral degree was was the creation of economic development in the community colleges in California.
Okay.
Um, but we created a group that I shared with you in a letter. Um, that was the Valleys Economic Corporation,
I remember. Yes.
and that group is still carrying out the coordination between the universities and the school districts and the colleges.
Mhm.
And so there's activity going. I also have another very interesting variable. When I retired, I had a very good friend and who was on the base at uh, we still call it Norton, but it's the San Bernardino International Airport.
Right, right.
But he had a business there, and he and I had and he was very active in this alliance. But he wanted to get students involved in the manufacturing area, and so we set up a program there. When I left the college dropped it, and so Mike and I just started a proprietary school. It's a nonprofit. It's called Technology Education Training, and we primarily work in the manufacturing area.
Mhm.
So and we're tied directly to the county schools office. So what that program does, all of their teaching actually is through the ROP. and therefore they're accredited programs.
That makes sense.
Now I've since gotten it accredited, and I now serve. Unfortunately, the friend I had passed away,
Oh, okay, okay.
and so I'm now the chairman of the board for
And
the
you must be
school.
on several boards now. So you're with the Diocese of San Bernardino board.
Oh, you too many.
Too many to list, everyone.
I I have I'm obviously the chairman of the board of TET.
Hmm.
I am the chairman of the board of the Catholic Cemeteries Corporation,
Okay.
and I am the chairman of the oversight committee for the building construction at the San Bernardino Community College District. So those three I chair. Then I'm on the education board for the diocese. I'm on the finance committee for the diocese.
Hmm.
So I really have a large group of
No, I love that
positions.
because
And then I'm
we're
on this board.
yeah, we're skipping a few things here, but just could you talk about your passion for serving on boards for somebody else who may be interested in serving on a board? What do
Yeah.
you get out of it?
My wife says I'm a fixer.
Okay, I like it. You have a very supportive spouse. Sounds like.
Yeah, she is, and she would not want to do it.
Yeah.
She doesn't get. She works with food pantries and things like that, but she doesn't get involved in my involvements.
Hmm.
But the passion comes from uh, uh, number one, just working with kids and understanding what we were trying to do for them when I was at the high school level for 14 years, and then some 34, 35 years. I was actually in education for 47 years
Or
before I
okay.
retired. And then I ran a consulting business for another 11 years.
Hmm.
So 58 some odd years in education. But uh, I got involved in Catholic Charities because of one of our employees was on the board. She invited me to come over and get involved. Uh, but I have a passion for poor people
Hmm.
and people that need to get themselves lifted up.
Right.
It was the whole idea behind the developed when in high school of the work experience program. We had kids that were working uh, who needed to work in order to attend school,
Hmm.
and to provide that avenue was very important. And so I have that kind of passion. And the more I got involved, the more the doors opened in terms of what I thought I
It's
could.
it's an interesting balance because some boards won't let you off. You're going to be there for you got your term limits, and then you may be there for a long time, but it's a life of passion that you've lit for sure.
And you're right, they won't let you go.
They won't let you go for
I
good.
I termed out at Cal State San Bernardino, and they invited me to to an event on the 28th, and I know what the story is. They're trying to get me
They
back
bring
on
you
the
back,
board.
yeah. So, that's the nice part about it is the camaraderie, and I believe, being grounded in your purpose, it gives you a reason to
Mhm.
get up every day and share your knowledge and your wisdom,
Yeah.
to help these organizations, and as you know, we're in a pivotal moment at Catholic Charities San Bernardino, some exciting things happening here, and you're part of that, and so, um, you know
And I'm termed out.
yeah, we're terming you out. So going back to that, with your background, I just imagine when you were a boy at that farm, you're using your hands, you're working hard,
Mm,
and so you that hard work ethic, and then your mom with the education, and then you carried that forward throughout your entire life, and now you're giving back in the form of being a board member and more, with all these great connections and phenomenal work that you've done. What advice would you give today to someone like a youth that's out there that wants to roll up their sleeves and just start their life? What advice would you give?
well, I think the major advice is to have a purpose. Uh, I find too many times that young people today think that the world is gonna be given to them,
Mm,
and they need to understand that that giving and participating, is highly important to the, structure of what they do and where they wanna go, and if they they don't stay involved, and if they don't set goals and follow through on those goals, then the opportunity to achieve are declining.
Yeah, well, I'm with you there, and thanks for sharing that. And is there anything we did Don, is there anything else we didn't cover that you'd like we didn't talk about your kids and your travels and things of that nature, but we got a
All
chance to get a
yeah,
snippet of your career.
it's all too much. It's been a fantastic career, and I had a lot of good things happen to me. God has always been very good. I've interestingly enough, I'm in school again.
Oh, wow.
I'm I'm preparing to be a Bible teacher, and uh, it's getting me back into that environment. But
I love it. So you just had this blessed life, but you're blessing others with your skills and talents, and we really appreciate you and all your efforts. I know like it's probably taken a lot of time away from family, but they know that you lived a life of purpose so far and still giving back to our community in so many ways. Okay, thank you, Don.
thank you.
Really appreciate everyone. We got a chance to listen to Don Averill, our board member, and here at Catholic Charities, San Bernardino Riverside. Please like, subscribe, and share. We want to share this and get it out there. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.